The takeaway is that we have the first meeting with the president, who is also the leader of the party, and he's having the first opportunity to meet with the newly elected senators and also the ranking senators who have been re-elected. And the whole purpose of this is to bond the new members with the old members and also to establish a new way of relating between the executive and the legislature. You know, the system talks about separation of powers, but only separation of powers, but it's one government, the executive branch and the legislative branch, and the two must shake hands for things to happen. And when you have a government, a president that is determined to drive changes, fundamental changes that will affect our habits, our lifestyle, you know, rebuild the economy, deal with security questions, and fight corruption as fiercely as he is trying to do, he will need a very, very supportive legislative arm of government. And happily, the Nigerian people has given us more numbers in both arms of the National Assembly. And all we have done today is to agree that we will use these numbers, you know, as a functioning whole to determine the leadership of the Senate in a way that we are not going to go to the floor of the Senate and allow the opposition to dictate who become the Senate president, because we have comfortable majority to drive that. What we need to do is to how to manage that majority, and we have discussed those specifics. And because these are business that have to do with election, as a caucus, this is more or less a meeting of the APC incoming caucus to discuss leadership question and to build consensus around an individual, so that people don't need to go, you know, trading and, you know, generating heat and in a way that can weaken internal solidarity within the party. Of course, we are aware that the opposition is expecting that APC senators are going to fight themselves, House of Rep are going to fight themselves, and then they will take advantage and choose and pick who to support. But they're going to be disappointed because our senators are seasoned senators. We have a cream of ranking senators that in their own right, they are capable of providing leadership to the Senate. So all we have to do is to weed all of this together and have a consensus on who lead, and then everybody follows, so that we have this time a more coherent, a cohesive, you know, National Assembly. And I think as we also specially recognize governors in transition, they have governed the whole, and now they are going to represent a third of the part. They are now going to become senators. So they are governors transiting to Senate. And so we are going to have my club members very well represented in the upper chambers. We are not privileged to have the Kano State Governor here, who, by the special grace of God, was also returned after a prolonged labor pain in the labor political room. And we narrowly miss, I believe, Sokoto State. By the special grace of God, I believe we will win it, because INEC changed the rules of the game and clearly robbed us of what belonged to us. And we believe, we have confidence that we'll follow due process and reclaim it. In 2015, I may not be particularly correct in the figures, but the margin of defeat between Your Excellency and the density president was about 3 million? 2 million. 2 million. This time, Nigerians increased it to over 4 million, which means greater confidence. Somebody asked me, he thought the dinner is exclusively for senators on APC platform, and I said yes. There are enough peas in YPP, and I think he's a very smart guy. He wants to belong to where most Nigerians want to be in, and I believe by choice of seat we can comfortably add him to our number, and we will formalize the details hereafter. So your dinner is not free of charge, but you have already substantially paid for it. And when I reflect on what had happened few months to the election and few weeks after our last Congress, some senators, in spite of your fatherly role, and you show uncommon humility as President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, you sat with some senators and with some governors and had a conversation on the need to stay together in peace and to put the past behind and confront the future with renewed hope. They left the villa, they went to another place, and that same night, they signed document in their attempt to turn us to a minority, and they decamped. Mr. President, I am not a sadist. I don't celebrate when people fail. But in truth, I am excited that of the 16 senators that decamped from the All Progressive Congress, Nigerians in their respective senatorial zone decided to punish them by denying them re-election. All 15 failed. The only one that survived, I believe, is the one that God left to entertain the remaining senators. When he has capacity for entertainment, the house will be boring without an entertainer, so that the blood pressure can remain under check, even when serious matters are going on. I don't think God can do much more than that for us. This time around, I also know that during the same season, many loyal APC senators, and indeed even many lawyers, House of Rep members, complained that the strategic committees, which PDP would like to describe as juicy committee, but we are not doing business on the basis of juice. We do business on the basis of what is strategic, what is good for our country. Many of those committees were in the hands of opposition. And you find that those who badmouth the government most are APC legislators. And they are handsomely rewarded for doing so. So I think the way Nigerians have voted to give us this huge majority in the two chambers is to enable us take charge of not just the executive, but take charge of the legislature. And to do so, sir, we thought it's important to sit as a family with you as our father and head of the house to discuss how we manage the leadership question in the National Assembly in a way that we will have a win-win outcome. We do not need to do business with opposition in order to claim what is rightly ours. This afternoon, I said to the members of the National Assembly, of the House of Reps, that we won't accept a situation where, with APC numbers in the Senate and in the House of Rep, committees are given, chairmanship and vice chairmanship are given to opposition while our members are distant spectators. We have enough number to do what we want to do and to carry everybody along. So the purpose of today's meeting is simple. First, to congratulate you formally. We have done so before. I will keep doing it. It can't be too much. After all, they have not stopped crying, so we cannot stop smiling.